I want you to do something right now. Go look in the mirror. If your haircut is making you look tired, older, or like you're trying too hard to be young, you're probably wearing one of these 5 styles, and I'm about to tell you exactly which one, and why it's working against you. The brutal truth? A bad haircut after 50 isn't just about vanity, it's about confidence. And right now, there are 5 specific styles silently stealing that from thousands of women. They're everywhere on social media, in every salon, and women keep asking for them thinking they're getting the Instagram-worthy transformation they deserve. But here's what happens instead. They look in the mirror and feel worse. Here's the thing nobody tells you. One of these 7 cuts is so universally flattering that I'm actually recommending it at the end of this video, but you have to watch until the final reveal to see which one it is, because getting it wrong could be a $300 mistake. This video is for anyone who's felt that disappointment. I'm showing you exactly which cuts are the culprits, why they're failing women over 50, and what actually works. Because you deserve a haircut that makes you feel like the best version of yourself. So hit that subscribe button, and let's find your perfect cut. Haircut 1. The blunt bob. Let's start with a cut that's making a comeback everywhere, the blunt bob. Now, I know what you're thinking, but a bob is timeless. And you're right. A bob can be absolutely stunning. But here's where it goes wrong after 50. The blunt bob, especially when it's cut straight across at the chin, creates a hard horizontal line that actually emphasizes the jawline in ways that aren't always flattering. After 50, our faces naturally change. We lose a bit of volume in certain areas, and our skin texture is different. A blunt line draws the eye directly to areas where we might have some sagging or hollowness. But that's not even the biggest problem. The real issue is that a blunt bob requires perfectly straight hair to look intentional and modern. If you have any natural texture, wave, or, let's be honest, if you don't have time to blow dry it perfectly every single day, it starts to look droopy and unkempt within hours. And when a bob starts to look droopy, it instantly ages you. It's like the cut is literally pulling your face down with it. I've seen women spend $200 on a blunt bob, love it for a week, then get frustrated when it falls flat or needs daily blow drying. You need a cut that works with your natural texture, one that looks polished even when you're simply throwing it into a ponytail. Haircut 2. The severe pixie. Next up is something that's been trending heavily on social media, especially among women reinventing themselves. The severe pixie cut. And listen, I'm not saying pixies are bad across the board. Some women absolutely rock a pixie cut, at any age. But the severe pixie? That's where things get tricky after 50. A severe pixie means very short, very tight to the head, minimal styling options. And here's what happens when you go this route. It puts every single detail of your face on full display. Every fine line, every area of puffiness, every asymmetry, it's all right there, magnified. There's no softness to frame your features. There's no styling flexibility on days when you just don't feel like dealing with it. Plus, let's talk about the maintenance nightmare. A severe pixie needs to be trimmed every 3 to 4 weeks to maintain that shape. That's a commitment and a financial drain. And if you miss even one appointment, it starts growing out in weird ways that don't look intentionally edgy. They just look unkempt. After 50, our hair texture can change. It may become thinner, coarser, or simply harder to manage. A severe pixie leaves little room to adapt. With so little length, you can't add layers or much texture, leaving you at the mercy of your hair's natural behavior. Haircut 3. The long and heavy. This one might surprise you, because longer hair is often considered more youthful, right? But here's the problem with going too long and too heavy after 50. It can actually work against you in ways you might not expect. Long, heavy hair that's all one length or barely layered becomes weighed down by gravity. It pulls on your face. It makes fine lines more noticeable because there's nothing to soften or diffuse them. And as we age, our hair doesn't have the same elasticity and fullness it used to have. So when you wear it long and heavy, it can actually emphasize thinning or areas where your hair isn't as dense. Beyond that, long and heavy requires serious maintenance. You need regular trims to keep it healthy. You need to deep condition it regularly. You need to style it properly, which takes time. If you're someone who wants a wash-and-go situation, long and heavy is going to frustrate you within weeks. But here's the thing that really gets me. I see so many women keeping their hair long because they think it makes them look younger. And while length can absolutely be youthful in the right context, if that length is accompanied by dull color, damage, or that I haven't done anything with this hair in months vibe, it's doing the exact opposite. It's making you look tired and neglected, not young and fresh. The irony is, longer hair after 50 looks best when you have the time and energy to maintain it. If you don't, choose a style that takes less effort while still giving you a youthful, intentional look. Haircut 4. The overly layered shag. Now, let's talk about the shag. The shag is everywhere right now. It's on TikTok, it's on Instagram, celebrities are doing it, and women are running to their salons asking for it. And I understand why. It looks cool, it looks edgy, it looks modern. But here's the issue. An overly layered shag, especially one with lots of choppy pieces throughout, can be absolutely unforgiving on mature hair. When you have too many layers and too much texture, you're creating a lot of surface area, which means a lot of opportunity for flyaways, frizz, and that slightly disheveled look that reads, as I don't have my life together, rather than I'm edgy and cool. The other problem with an overly layered shag is that it requires styling expertise. You need to blow dry it with the right technique, possibly use a round brush or a diffuser depending on your hair type. Maybe add some texture spray or a styling product. And you need to do this regularly to make it look intentional rather than just messy. If you have fine or thinning hair after 50, too many layers can make it look even thinner by creating gaps instead of density. A shag can still work, but the layers should be thoughtful and suited to your texture. And be honest about styling. An unstyled shag can quickly look messy rather than chic. Haircut 5. The helmet head bob. You know that cut I'm talking about, right? The bob that's cut so perfectly, so bluntly, so precisely that it literally looks like a helmet sitting on your head. It's structured, it's geometric, it's very fashion-forward. But after 50, it can be really, really harsh. This cut is all about creating a very specific shape, and if that shape isn't absolutely perfect, or if it shifts even slightly as your hair grows out, it can look off. Not trendy off, but actually something is wrong off. And because it's so structured, it doesn't have much softness or movement to it. There's no forgiveness. There's no, oh, my hair looks different today, but it still looks good vibe. The helmet head bob also tends to emphasize the width of your face in ways that aren't always flattering. If you have a rounder face or a wider face, this cut can actually make it look wider. And if you have a narrower face, it might make you look drawn or tired because there's no softness framing your features. What really gets me about this cut is that it requires professional maintenance to look good. You can't just let it grow out gracefully. Every few weeks, you need to get it trimmed to maintain that shape. Miss one appointment, and suddenly you're walking around with a mullet-adjacent situation that nobody signed up for. This is the kind of cut that works beautifully on some people, but for most women over 50, it's a commitment and a potential styling nightmare. And at this point in our lives, don't we deserve better? Haircut 6. The thin razored layers. Okay, so this one is super specific, but it's everywhere and I need to address it. The thin, heavily razored layers that create a lot of texture and movement. Now, layering can be amazing. Good layers can add dimension, movement, and life to your hair. But when you take it too far with thin, razor-sharp layers that are all throughout your hair, you're creating problems. The main one? It can make your hair look thinner than it actually is. After 50, a lot of us are dealing with hair that's thinner than it was before. It's just a fact. Our hair changes. And when you go in for a cut and a stylist creates really thin, razored layers, they're essentially removing density. They're creating a lot of space between the layers, which means less fullness, less body, less of what makes your hair look healthy and thick. The other issue is that thin, razored layers are harder to maintain. They don't grow out as gracefully as blunt layers do. As they grow, they can look scraggly and unintentional. You end up in a situation where you need to get your hair cut much more frequently to maintain that look, which is a time and money commitment. Plus, thin, razored layers can be tough on hair health. Razors can create split ends more easily than scissors do. So you're creating a cut that requires more frequent trims to maintain, uses a technique that can damage your hair more easily, and potentially makes your hair look thinner. That's a triple threat of not what you want. Haircut 7. The choppy, just got out of bed cut. Last one, and this is so important. The deliberately messy, choppy. I just woke up like this cut. This is the cut that's supposed to look effortless and cool, but after 50 it often just looks, well, like you just woke up. There's a difference between textured and intentional and just plain disheveled. And that line is very thin. A stylist can create a cut that's supposed to look undone and cool, but if you don't have the right hair texture, the right hair thickness, or the styling skills to make it look intentional, it just looks like you don't care. And here's the thing. After 50, we're working against some biological realities. Our hair isn't as naturally shiny and healthy looking as it used to be. So a messy cut needs even more intention and styling to look cool instead of just sloppy. This cut also requires a very specific daily styling routine. You need to know how to style it to make it look intentional. You need the right products, the right blow-dry technique, the right mindset. If you're not someone who enjoys that process, this cut will frustrate you within days. And honestly, I think after 50, most of us want to feel polished and put together. We don't necessarily want to spend 30 minutes every morning styling our hair to look like we didn't spend any time on it. That's exhausting, and it's not the energy we're going for. Okay, so I've just broken down 7 haircuts that are causing problems for women over 50. But here's what I really want you to understand. This isn't about restricting your choices or telling you that you have to look a certain way. This is about recognizing that our hair, our faces, and our needs have changed since we were younger, and we deserve cuts that reflect that reality. The truth is, there's something genuinely liberating about getting a haircut that actually works for you. I'm not talking about settling or being boring. I'm talking about the kind of cut that makes you feel confident without requiring an exhausting maintenance routine. The kind of cut that makes you look like the best version of yourself, not a watered-down version of someone else. Think about what happens when you get a good haircut. You walk out of that salon, and you feel different. You stand a little taller. You catch your reflection, and you smile instead of wincing. You get compliments that feel genuine instead of polite. That's not vanity. That's confidence. And confidence at 50, 60, 70, or beyond is not something to take lightly. It affects how you move through the world. It affects how people perceive you. It affects how you perceive yourself. When you stop fighting against your hair and start working with it, everything changes. You're not spending 45 minutes every morning trying to force your hair into a shape it doesn't naturally want to be. You're not constantly frustrated because the cut you got doesn't match the picture you showed your stylist. You're not avoiding the pool or the gym because you don't want to mess up your hair. You're free. And at this stage of life, freedom is valuable. Time is valuable. Energy is valuable. So a haircut that respects those things isn't just about looking good. It's about quality of life. Here's another thing that people don't talk about enough. The right haircut is a form of self-respect. It's saying I matter. My appearance matters. I'm worth the investment of finding something that actually works for me. Because let's be real, we can all afford to get a mediocre haircut that looks blah. The real investment is in getting something that's actually good. And I want to be clear about something. Getting a good haircut after 50 isn't about looking 30. It's not about defying your age. It's about looking healthy, intentional, and like someone who has her life together. Those things are way more attractive than trying to look younger. A 55-year-old woman with a great cut, good color, and confidence is infinitely more striking than a 55-year-old woman trying desperately to look 35. The women who look their absolute best after 50 are the ones who have made peace with their age and are actually celebrating it instead of fighting it. They're choosing styles that enhance their natural beauty instead of covering it up. They're investing in quality cuts and color. They're taking care of their hair. And it shows. There's also something I want you to know. When you finally find the right cut, when you finally sit in that chair and your stylist really listens to you and understands what will work for your face shape, your hair texture, and your lifestyle, it's genuinely transformative. You'll wonder why you spent so many years suffering through bad haircuts. You'll think about that moment years later as the moment you started taking your appearance seriously. And the bonus? Once you know what works, you can ask for it again. You can communicate it to a new stylist. You can own it. That's power. That's the kind of knowledge that serves you for the rest of your life. This video isn't about making you feel bad about a haircut you already have. It's about helping you make smarter choices, save time and money, and know exactly what to ask for and what to avoid at your next salon appointment. You deserve a haircut that makes you feel like yourself, only better. So before your next appointment, rewatch the parts that apply to you. And if you've tried one of these cuts and regret it, don't panic. Now you know what didn't work and can make a better choice next time. And the haircut I promised you, the one I'm actually recommending, is coming in my next video, where I'll reveal the 7 best haircuts for women over 50. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And tell me in the comments, which of these haircuts have you tried and how did it work for you? Thank you for watching. You deserve to feel beautiful, confident, and like the best version of yourself. And sometimes, it all starts with the right haircut.